Hey guys, welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. Today I have a very different style of video for you. I am doing a big decluttering video. I am just gonna go through categories of these and just kind of give an overview of maybe why I'm decluttering it. And I hope you guys like this type of video. I know some people find it very therapeutic, relaxing. They like to just put it on the background, do their makeup, do their skincare routine, and watch decluttering videos. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, first up, I'm going to start with eyeshadow palettes that I'm decluttering. A lot of these I have either not used, only swatched, or used maybe 1 or 2 times. So some of them I do plan on selling, and then some of them I'm just going to kind of get rid of. So first up, we have the e.l.f. Electric Moods palette. The reason why I decided to declutter this, it's not that it's terrible. It actually has a couple of really beautiful shades in here. Some of the shimmers are really pretty, but some of them just don't show up very well. Some of the mattes are also a little bit lackluster. And while I think it's so beautiful in color story, I just have so many palettes right now and ones that do so much better that while it's still fresh and intact and a fairly new release, I just thought it would be best to sell this one. Next up, we have the Salt and Pepper Milano collab. This palette came out not last summer, but the summer before last. And it was actually really cool. I think this circle pinwheel kind of scheme here is really interesting. I think that the shimmers looked really pretty. It just has some of these more glittery formulas that I'm just not a huge fan of. They don't show up quite as vibrant as they look in the palette. I mean, if they did, I would definitely be keeping this because I just think the color story is gorgeous, but just didn't quite perform like I want it to, so that's why I am decluttering it. Another Milano, we have this palette here, which is the Must Have Neutrals. Again, it's a very cool color story. I think it's pretty, but it just doesn't perform like I want it to either. I had to work too hard to get it to show up very much, and I used to like this palette okay and this formula, but I've acquired such a massive palette collection lately with amazing formulas that this just doesn't quite do it for me. So bye-bye. Next, we have another Milano. This is the Lustre Light palette. So I'm gonna say right now, Milano does have some good formulas. I actually just placed an order for their new fall spooky releases, and some of them are really nice. I actually really like the pastel palette that they have that's like this, but this one, as you can kind of see, it hard pans here. And I don't like that. I don't like a hard pan. This one just didn't quite do it for me. Some of the shimmers are nice, but the mattes are kind of crappy. So that's why this one's going bye-bye. Next we have the NYX Diamond and Ice. Please, I got this, I believe, 2 winters ago. And actually this palette surprised me a little bit. It performed better than I thought it was going to. I haven't always been a big NYX eyeshadow formula lover, but this one wasn't too bad. And again, kind of the only reason why I'm decluttering this one is because I've acquired so many palettes lately. But for the price, this one is actually not too bad. And I kind of want to try another NYX palette. There's a larger one that came out recently that I've seen some really good reviews on, so I'm probably going to give them a chance here sometime soon. But for now, Diamonds and Ice, please, is bye-bye. Next up, we have an Essence palette, the Fire palette. You guys, I actually used to really love this palette. I thought it performed really well. Again, this is kind of before I became as makeup obsessed as I am and venturing out and trying a ton of indie brands that just blow my socks off. So while I think that Essence eyeshadows are a little bit underrated for drugstore, they don't compete with some of my indie brands that I love. And, you know, I think this color story is pretty. I've used it several times. So Essence shouldn't be slept on. Try them out for eyeshadow palettes, but for now, I'm getting rid of this one. Now we have an old BH Cosmetics palette. It's a couple years old for me. I believe about 2 years old. I love BH, love them. This is not their best release in collection, these really tiny circle palettes. I have much better ones, some of the travel palettes and the Zodiac palette, which I will always love. It's one of the older palettes still in my collection, but this isn't bad, but it's not fabulous. I do actually really like the color story on this. I think it's really pretty for fall, but it might be better for someone else who didn't have as big of a collection as me and they could get more use out of it. Next up, we have an Aqualon palette. So this came in my Glow Addict box subscription, which I actually just canceled. Listen, Glow Addict has some really neat things, but it is a cheaper indie brand box subscription. And while I love indie brands and I even like cheaper indie brands, they kept dropping the ball for me. I'll talk more about that here in a minute, but I do think this palette is pretty. It's a pretty rainbow palette. I just don't do these colors that often, only maybe for special occasions when you want like a rainbow theme. So while I think it's pretty, while it's still very new and fresh and someone else could use it better than me, I think it's time to just let this one go. All right, let's see. Now we have a couple of Kiko Milano palettes. This might be hard to get off with my nails. Hold on. Okay, I actually just talked about these not too long ago on my stories on Instagram and how I really like them. I still do. I still think that they're neat. The formula is very unique and interesting. The mattes right here they're very unique. They're soft, subtle, but buildable. They don't have much fallout. They're very velvety, but not extremely pigmented, but they are buildable. And then these shimmers are very subtle as well, kind of like toppers, but that can be built up. And I do think these are really interesting palettes. I do like them, and I love Kiko. It's just, again, a matter of, I just have so much in my collection right now, and I was trying to wrestle with keeping everything when I really don't reach for these that much. So that's why I'm getting rid of them, but I do think Kiko's got some awesome, awesome palettes. Okay, so this is the Shake Your Palms Too Faced palette. I actually won this in a giveaway, and I do think it's really pretty. I used to love Too Faced. I still love a lot of their products. I know that they can be controversial. That's kind of partially why I'm getting rid of it is I don't know that I feel as comfortable sharing a ton of Too Faced on like my Instagram, even on here, because there's just so much controversy that surrounds them. So while I think this is really pretty, I like the tones in it. It's actually a lot warmer than it looks here. Here we go. And I do like their formula, their eyeshadow formula. I used to absolutely love it, but I do have better in my collection now. And so I think someone else that isn't immersed in the makeup world, that doesn't really know about all the controversy, they'd be better off with this palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it. This is another Milano palette. It's like a mauve cool tone palette. And again, I've already kind of said that I like other formulas way better now. So getting rid of that. And then this is a very old palette for me. This is the Profusion Mixed Metals palette. I used this palette a lot back in the day. I hated cool tone palettes until just recently. So even though I've had this for a long time and used it, I would always dread kind of using it because I didn't like cool tones. Now I love them, but this palette is just several years old, so I'm just gonna give it up. But I do love Profusion. I think they're a very underrated brand. So I have another palette that I use more often, the Mirage palette, than this one. So that's why I'm getting rid of it, but cool packaging too, but time to go. Okay, another controversial brand, actually two of them. This is the Morphe Jeffree Star palette. I got this as a gift about 2 years ago, I think. And I wanted to love this because I wasn't as into makeup back then. I still loved makeup, but I wasn't a makeup junkie, brand junkie, all of that. I had no idea any of the Jeffree Star shenanigans back then. And so I was really excited. I was like, oh man, there's so much you can do with this. I honestly only used it about 4 times because I did not love the formula. It just, I don't know. You can see there's already like a hard pan right here, and I've used that twice. And while some of the shimmers I didn't tap into that look really pretty here, it's just gonna go. I wanted to love it, but I don't, and it's controversial, so goodbye. Let's see, these 2 little palettes here, these are from Shop Miss A, I don't know if they're the Aoa, but the Paw Paw eyeshadow quads. These shimmers really surprised me. They're actually really, really nice. This costs $1 on the Shop Miss A site, and these shimmers are beautiful. They're kind of like those very lustrous, glimmery shimmers, not your intense like indie brand shimmers, but they are actually great for $1. It's just that I just have an insane collection, and quads are a little bit more difficult for me to reach for in store, and I bought several quads and made Terra Moon's quad palettes here lately, so that's why I'm letting them go. But for $1, you guys, these are really, really good. Last up, decluttering. As I'm looking at it, it's making me sad to declutter it because this was, I believe, my second BH Cosmetics purchase I ever made several years ago. And I mean, this palette is beautiful. I mean, you can just tell those shimmers look gorgeous. The blush colors in here are really pretty and actually like pretty wearable for a lot of skin tones. I've just had it for so many years. It's a big palette. I'm really sad letting it go, but before I look at it too long, I gotta close it. Had it too long, really pretty, but time to part ways. So this declutter is actually the most recent Glow Addict box that I got, and I did not do a YouTube unboxing video because when I opened it, I was so disappointed with the box that I canceled my subscription and was like, there's no need to do an unboxing video here. I kept one thing from it. It was Medusa Beauty, a lipstick that was really pretty. That's the only thing that I kept. These are razors, but like I don't dermaplane. I don't shave my face or anything, so, or my eyebrows. I don't know. I didn't open them, so they're going away. These micellar wipes, I don't use those either. So I figure someone else could use them. This right here is the main reason. No, this put me over the edge. The box came with a sponge like this, unwrapped, unsanitary, disgusting. So that's why I canceled. And then here we have another Aqualon eyeshadow palette that I actually did not open. I saw it on their site. It's a very fall looking palette, just like that rainbow palette, but fall colors. But again, I just have so many palettes that are probably way better. So while it's still untouched, I thought it'd be best to just sell it like that. Bye, Glow Addict. Bye. So this basket is going to have a lot of random stuff in it that I'm just going to pull out, mainly face stuff. This is a foundation by Physicians Formula. I did not like this. I tried it 3 times. I tried it by itself once, mixed with other foundations twice, and I just don't like it. I love their Butter Believe It foundation, but this one is drying and it just does not look good. I am not a fan. Not great coverage, makes your skin look really dry. Just a bad foundation. Let's see. Then we have a couple of Sheen foundations, and actually, so this was their foundation before they reformulated it, before She Glam came in as a thing. This was just their very first foundation launch from Shein almost 2 years ago. And I love this foundation. I really do. This was in the shade Wheat. It's very dark, actually, a dark orangey shade. I believe they only had about 7 or 8 shades when they first launched. So now they have so many. They've really done a good job expanding that. And this definitely was not my color. Great coverage though. It has a very strong scent that they got rid of with the new formulation. So it's unopened. I thought maybe someone could use it. So I've got the newer one, so there's no sense in me keeping 2 of these. So here are a couple of foundations that these I used to love. They are the Matte Poreless Maybelline, the matte one and the dewy one. I still think these are really good foundations. I just have kind of found other ones that I enjoy better. I also think that Maybelline foundations may break me out. I don't know if it's the sunscreen in it. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like they break me out. So I actually really like the Wet n Wild Dewy Photo Focus better than this one. And I have a ton of foundations in my collection right now that I reach for first. So these are unused. So that's why I thought they could go to someone else. This dreaded foundation right here. I know some people love this. I absolutely hate it. I mean, it's not the worst, but I think the reason why I get heated about it is because it was pumped up so much and hyped up, and I just don't like it. I've almost finished them both, and I finally just wondered why I was torturing myself. They just don't look good on me. They look good at first. Within a couple of hours, they get very creasy, drying, rub off. I've mixed them with all kinds of foundations to make them better, and I do like them better that way. But for me, it's just a no. I won't purchase them again. Here are 2 bronzers that I'm getting rid of. One of them is a glowy bronzer, the Intense Glow from Milano. Huge, huge, huge pan. This one is a Laura Geller bronzer matte. I'm getting rid of these because I wanted to like these, but both of them just never really showed up very well. This one kind of got a hard pan quickly on it. Just never did much for me. And this one as well. It's just dry. I don't know. I wanted to love it. Looks pretty. Laura Geller, don't have a whole lot from that brand, but it just, I don't know. It never looked good. So they're going bye-bye. So these 2 eye products, they're not bad. This was my holy grail of eyeliners for years, for all of my 20s, all the way probably until, for like 15 years. And then this is the Stay Wild She Glam double-sided waterproof mascara. Both of them are unopened, so I will be selling them, but I've just found others that I love better. the CoverGirl one, I don't know if the formula changed or if I just changed, but it doesn't go on as smooth. The tip breaks a lot. It seems much drier than it used to be and not as opaque. And I don't use a ton of waterproof mascara. I already have 2 of these unopened, so that's why I'm decluttering one. But it actually is really good for a waterproof mascara. This is a beloved product. It actually, even though the package looks a little bit banged up, it hasn't been opened or used, so I'm gonna sell it. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Glow Highlighter in the shade Penny. I already have 2 or 3 of these. I have backups, so I just don't need so many. It's excellent. A little bit goes a long way. It's very smooth. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful formula. I can't justify having 4 backups, so that's why I'm getting rid of this, but it's an excellent product. So now we have a few random face items that I'm just gonna go over real quick of why I'm decluttering. These blushes I've had in my collection for, I don't know, over 5 years. So no, they're just bye. I don't even think that they make blushes like this from Profusion anymore. So I have an Aoa powder, and it's not because there's anything wrong with it. I just accidentally ordered 2. They're not bad. They're $1. They do the job. Slightly drying, but really not bad for $1. IT Cosmetics, you guys, it's just a brand. I also have another product over here. This is an under eye corrector concealer, and I used to love them. I just don't love them anymore. I think they're actually a little bit overrated, and I know people swear by them. I feel like it's a brand that if you don't know a ton about makeup, you're not going to get into any of the indie brands, any of the just brands that not just the general public know, then I think it's a go-to brand for people, kind of like Too Faced, Benefit. But if you really get into the makeup world, IT Cosmetics, I don't know. They're just better and better, cheaper, in my opinion. So that's why I'm decluttering those. This concealer I've had for a while by Maybelline. I remember it was very shiny and kind of sticky. I never really liked it, and it never really dried down very well. So that's why I'm decluttering that one. I know a few people would not agree with me. I did not really enjoy the bite-size e.l.f. duos. I found them very lackluster. They never really gave me a lot of pigment. The highlighter felt dry, and I don't know. Sorry, I don't like them. Bye-bye. Next, we have this Laura Geller Illuminating Drops. This was pretty. It's kind of a rose gold. It just separates a lot and is a little bit oily, and I've had it for a while, so that's why I'm getting rid of it. But back in the day, I probably had this a couple of years. It used to be really pretty to add to foundation or underneath. Last, we have this giant banana setting powder by Wet n Wild. I actually do really like this formula. I used to use it all the time, but it's so big that I think it would just room sake for how many powders I have is why I'm decluttering it, but really there was nothing wrong with it. It actually works very nicely. Now we have some eyebrow products. Honestly, I haven't even tried 2 of these. This is unboxed. I've never tried this. I just don't use pomades anymore. I used to. That's all I used to use, the Milano one specifically, but now I just use a micro brow pencil from She Glam that is my ride or die. I have not found anything else I love as much. Not even the Milano one that everyone likes, not the NYX one. I love it. So that's why I'm getting rid of these. I did try this one out by Romantic Beauty. It's way too warm for me. And again, I don't really use the pomades or gels anymore. And then this pencil is a Romantic Beauty one, but it has the waxy, kind of thicker, angled applicator. and I just don't use that style anymore. I'm all about the micro pencil. So that's why these are being decluttered. And now for mascaras. Sadly, I have 6 Kiko Milano mascaras that did not work for me. I love a lot of their products. They have some of my holy grails. Their Hydro Gloss is amazing. Some of their eyeshadow palettes, their highlighters, bronzers. Their mascaras, I don't know, they just can't figure it out. They just did nothing for my lashes. My lashes would not hold a curl with any of them. So I'm decluttering all of them. We have a Romantic Beauty one, this bigger one right here. It's a waterproof. It's just too bulky, so I don't use a lot of waterproof. This is a Milano. It came as a sample, and it's decent. It's really not too bad, the highly rated one. But I just have others that I love better, like Essence Lash Princess, so that's why I'm getting rid of it. And then this was a sample that also came from Maybelline, and Maybelline used to have all of my favorite mascaras, but again, I just fell in love with Essence Lash Princess, so that's why I'm getting rid of that. Now we have a couple of skincare things here. This Cala double-sided cleansing brush. I had a different one. I bought a backup. My face started to break out really bad while I was using this, and I don't know if it got bacteria or if it was a coincidence, but I'm too scared to try it again. Someone else might enjoy it. It hasn't been open, so I'll just give it away or sell it. We have these 2 Garnier Skin Active Hydrating Moisture Day and Night Mask. It wasn't bad. I just, again, kind of started falling in love with other stuff. This was before I got really involved in the beauty community on Instagram and found other things. So I'm just getting rid of that for that reason. We have a random lotion here that I did not love. Olay, the original without sunscreen, is one of my OGs. I think a lot of products with sunscreen break me out and dry me out. So that's why I'm getting rid of the one with sunscreen, but I do love the one without. And then we have this Age Perfect Night Moisturizer by L'Oreal. I just don't find it extremely moisturizing for me. So that's why I'm getting rid of it. We have these really adorable, tiny little loose glitters from Ollie Mae Cosmetics, which I actually love. It's a teeny, tiny brand that actually has really pretty lashes, and I do like the lipsticks. I bought these on a whim. They were on sale for super cheap, and they look gorgeous in the package, but when they come out, they're just very fine, kind of disappear. And for someone who doesn't do a lot of makeup, they might enjoy it. But for me, who's become like a Terra Moon fanatic, you know, Sydney Grace, all of those, and like shimmers, then this just doesn't quite make sense for me to keep. So that's why I'm decluttering these. And lastly, we have a ton of lipsticks, and I'm not gonna go through all of these. I mean, the main reason why I'm decluttering these is they have been in my stash for probably years. So they're gonna go to my daughter. She'll be super excited. She's 5. She loves makeup, loves inheriting all of my old lipsticks. So that's why these are going away. Nothing wrong with them. Have some classics in there, like your NYX lipsticks and the butter, you know, glosses and all that. But it's just time to go. Expired. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this long decluttering video. Please like and subscribe. Let me know if you like decluttering videos, if you would like to see them in the future. And as always, have fun shopping. Budget shopping. Bye.